take. God damn it.
And coming tonight with us from Kratov is Mike Whitaker.
What up, professional surf fans?
What?
Yeah, the things you guys missed while we were fixing our computers. Anywho, tonight we're gonna talk about the VGX, formerly known as the VGAs, the Video Game Awards, that Spike TV holds every year. And this is gonna be a little different podcast than prior. So the way it's gonna work out is like we're gonna have our predictions in the first half of the show. The second half is gonna be our reactions to those predictions we made, and say pretty much I was right or I was dead wrong. Um, but
Yeah, I'm
yes.
gonna be doing a lot of the I am right.
Ha, ha. We'll see. We'll see. There is no prizes. There is. It's like whose line is it anyway? The points don't matter. But someone in the end will win something. Anywho, so I think first thing we should start off is like we should talk about the people who are going to be judging for the VGX.
Yeah.
And Greg, you want to go over that real quickly?
Sure. It's a lot of people from different gaming sites, but there are a lot of like editor-in-chiefs. So we have Andy McAnum is not gonna work here anymore. Damn it, I can't say his name. Anyway, the editor-in-chief of Game Informer, the news editor of
Andy
Polygon.
McNamara.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Right, right.
Mhm. Yeah, I know how to read. What up?
I'm not gonna go through all of them. I'm just kind of Jeff Gersman from Giant Bomb. Jesus Christ, Jerry Hulkins from Penny Arcade. Um,
Jeremy Parrish off a US Gamer on that, also former one upper.
yes. It's just basically a lot of the head guys at different sites. So we have Game Informer, Polygon, Wired, Destructoid, Xbox Magazine, Penny Arcade, Kotaku, IGN, Games Radar, PC Gamer. I think I already said that. Joystick. So like, I don't know who a lot of these people are. I know Andy McNamara, Jeff Gersley, Jeff Niley, which he doesn't deserve it. But that's about the only people that I know because they've had their names out there for a little while, and I'm sure these other people have too. I have no idea. So,
Right.
but you can look at the list on our website.
Oh, for sure. Yes. Follow along
Like I'm
with
doing
us.
right now, Greg.
It's funny how there's one Associated Press person in that group.
Yeah.
It's rather odd, but yeah, sure.
Also, like, yeah, because I got these names off of the VGX website, and when it showed his name, it just said AP, and I was like, okay, just type that then.
These are a pretty good cast of people to judge a game and give their rating.
Absolutely.
And they might have played the games prior. They might have a better understanding of some of these games. So so we got a good number of games, and the way we're gonna do this is that we're gonna predict each game, or we're gonna predict which game will win that category, and move on to the next, and then from there on, see what we had to say afterwards. And
Also, you can follow the list that we are going by on our website over at MrStarPodcast.com, where you're listening to this podcast right now.
Yep, pretty much.
Sorry, I had to say that like a goof.
You are a goober. You are not good enough to be a goof.
So where should we start, guys? Like, should we go from the bottom up, or should we?
No, I think we should start with Game of the Year, and then go down that column, and then go back up to the second column.
Okay, so we're gonna go straight for the gut. Game of the Year, loaded question with these great games. So the games for Game of the Year candidates are BioShock Infinite, Grand Theft Auto 5, Super Mario 3D World, The Last of Us, and Tomb Raider. Now, all great games. I have to say, all great games.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think surprisingly, uh, like Super Mario 3D World has been getting a lot of good praise as of late, and Game of the Year contender pretty early, or surprisingly, you know, coming out this past month um, to be Game of the Year. Um,
What's really interesting about each of the games on this category is, from my perspective, because I've played all 5, from my perspective, I can tell you a bad thing and a good thing about each game.
Right.
And they're big too. So like BioShock Infinite, probably the best story that I've seen this year, but the gameplay is very mediocre. It's so like BioShock that there was nothing too extravagantly cool about it.
Yeah, I was more into the strong story other than the gameplay itself.
Grand Theft Auto 5. Great world, great visuals, mediocre story.
and characters.
And characters, so yeah.
Yeah.
Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario 3D Land with catsuit.
Yeah, that's a
don't-
good description of it. Yeah. um, Greg, your mic is low again. While you fix your mic, Mike, what do you think of this list? I mean, like, what stands out to you out of that list for Game of the Year?
Honestly, I think all 5 of these, all 5 of these games are all, great candidates. I'm not surprised Tomb Raider's on this list. Honestly, when I played Tomb Raider, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thought it was a great reboot for the franchise, a nice prequel. Well, I guess it's not a reboot; it's a prequel. It's a prequel. It's how Lara Croft got her start. I'm not going to pick it as game of the year, but I definitely did enjoy playing it. And I was never really a big fan of any of all the Tomb Raider games. I've never really, I never really had the need to be like, oh, I need to own that game. I need to play that as soon as possible.
Right.
But for some reason, there was something about this that was just like, it was just different. I mean, the way they came up with, the way they reinvented Lara Croft, making her, more realistic, more vulnerable, just more human.
Right.
I think that's what sold me about this game. And you bring that human element of survival and the fear of death and the fear of the unknown in the wilderness, like she should be, like she experiences, for her games. They really reinvented all those elements and really made me enjoy the character a whole lot more, even though she's been around forever.
For sure. I mean, like, I think Tomb Raider, to many people's credit, many of us doubted that it was going to be a game just because there have been very few games in Tomb Raider's legacy. It's just that the rehashing of the reboot is like always been a joke. Like, it's a reboot of Lara Croft, better than ever, and then it turns out to be crap.
Yeah.
But as late, she's been getting some good games. And Tomb Raider, this new one, it's been really good. Hopefully they don't screw it up in the next iteration.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, keep the ball rolling. Yeah, it's like for a long time, Lara Croft was always looked at as like, this, dual gun wielding heroine with big boobs. Like nobody ever took her seriously. It's like nobody wanted to take her seriously, and now that they've scaled her down more to reality.
I had to test
Greg,
my mic,
back.
so I had to test my mic.
You know what?
Yeah, to test his mic.
Just so the audience kind of knows what the hell's going
Well,
on.
it sounded good. Now it doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah, your audio went down. Live, nothing like it. So Tomb Raider is your game of the year from the sounds of
No.
it?
I'm not saying it's my game of the year. I'm just saying that it is definitely a noteworthy candidate.
Oh, okay.
Among this list of all these other amazing story-driven, well, not all amazing story-driven, but 2 out of the 5 of them are amazing story-driven games that are noteworthy as well, like BioShock and Last of Us. But Tomb Raider is definitely, the story is, it's, the Tomb Raider story is very, it's a little meh, it's just, it's a good little origin story. But I think the game in whole, when you get into the whole, adventure part of it. It kind of pulls you into the story. You get a good backstory for Lara Croft, and you see where she comes from and the upbringing that she came from. It really gives you a new perspective because we've all kind of known her story. If you're a fan, she comes from a normal upbringing, and she's always had that wild nature inside, and that that thirst for adventure, and how her dad gets her into treasure hunting and stuff. So you get a better view of that in this game, and I think that's a pretty strong suit.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can hear you. Okay.
I don't know how long this is gonna last.
Let's
Let's hope that it lasts good enough. Oh shit! Are you still? Did Skype fuck up on me? Oh no, it's crashing. What's going on? Oh, son of a bitch! All sorts of problems. We're live.
Okay. So I feel out of the five nominees for Game of the Year, even though they're all noteworthy games, all around all the systems that they are associated with, I think the Game of the Year should go to Grand Theft Auto 5. I think they're going to win. When it comes to, I feel like when it comes to being Game of the Year, you have to be a balanced game. I feel that's the best. Having a multiplayer and a strong multiplayer and a strong single player is a plus for the winner of Game of the Year, and I feel like Rockstar nailed that with Grand Theft Auto 5. The dynamic story, just the in-depth multiplayer of what you can do. There's really not what you can't do in that game. I really think they're gonna walk away with that. Especially with the enormous amounts of sales, the ridiculous amounts of sales that game had on the release day.
Okay, good decision. No qualms there. Greg, what's your prediction?
I think that it should go to BioShock Infinite. Just on story alone and them trying to do something different was really unique. I mean, every game in this category deserves it, to be honest with you, for one reason or another. But I really think that they should be giving it to BioShock Infinite just because they really did nail a story that fits in not only a video game format, but in my opinion, you could play that game 1,000 times and no matter what decisions you make, it's all canon.
Yeah.
Not to spoil the story for anybody, even though it came out in March.
I don't know if you haven't played it by now. What have you been doing with your life? Seriously.
But yeah, it's just brilliant. Like, all of the commercials out for it, any videos that came out before it that were like, this is the trailer for the game or this is a preview to the game. Like, it all counts.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love that game too.
So I think that should win. I think that they're going to give it to that game too. That or Last of Us. I think they might give it to Last of Us, but really, I feel like it's going to BioShock Infinite.
Interesting choice. I totally love BioShock Infinite. I think it's personally my game of the year. It's just the story's so good. Gameplay wise, yeah, it's not nothing different from the original BioShock, but
Yeah, it's something extraordinarily special.
Yeah, it really is. Especially the ending. But I think, I think they're gonna get to The Last of Us. I think from The Last of Us, from what I've heard from people and from you, Greg, is that it's a graphically it looks really good. For a PS3 game, that game looks really freaking
Agree.
good.
Yeah.
And story wise, it's pretty good. Obviously, would say BioShock is better, but I just have this gut feeling that Last of Us is going to win it. I just have this gut feeling.
All right then.
I wish BioShock would win it, but we'll see.
We shall.
All right, so next on the list we have Studio of the Year, and here are the studios that is on the list. We have Irrational Games, Naughty Dog, Rockstar North, and the Fulbright Company. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The Fulbright Company, what games did they make, or what games specifically did they make?
Let me look that up real quick. I feel like it was an indie game. I don't think it's a game that's on the list. I could be wrong. I could absolutely be incorrect.
Right, right.
But the companies that they have listed there,
Mm-hmm.
um, I mean, and not just because I chose BioShock Infinite, but I think the game that it should go to, or the company that it should go to, is Rockstar. And my reasoning behind that is when you look at how big on a scale Grand Theft Auto is, and the type of AI that it has to function like that throughout an entire game for the current gen, it's really a remarkable trait.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that they deserve to win Company of the Year simply on the level of devotion they have to making their games just that big.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. Now I'm looking at this list. Three out of those four like have games that are game of the year contending. It's just funny. I just want to point that out. Personally, I want to wait until I mean, I'll wait until you find out what the Fulbright company did. But out of the three there, I have to agree with you, Greg. I think Rockstar really hit it out of the park with Grand Theft Auto 5. I think that the sheer amount of just what they put into that game, and then on top of that multiplayer when it was working, um, it's just so massive and such an accomplishment. I'm really surprised they can really pull it off. Um, it's nothing short of amazing. Let's say put it that.
Yeah.
But I think Rockstar North will take it, depending on what the Fulbright company did, because I might change my mind then.
Right. I'm still looking that up. My phone decided that it wanted to disconnect from the internet for like a second.
Gotcha. I can look right now, actually. I got internet. In the meantime, Mike,
I'm
what do
already
you say?
halfway there. I'm just.
Even though I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is going to win Game of the Year, I think the company that might win Studio of the Year is Naughty Dog. Honestly,
Sorry to
mostly-
interrupt, Mike. Sorry to interrupt, but Gone Home. They made Gone Home.
Oh, that's a very yeah. Interesting.
Sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
It's okay. I think Naughty Dog is going to win Studio of the Year. I like Naughty Dog. I think they're great storytellers. I think they go into very good detail about how they want their stories to be driven, and they're great at making their games look gorgeous. I mean, the Uncharted series, Heavy Rain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just if you play those games and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But they're they do very well at character based building. I haven't played Last of Us, but I know of what I've heard. A lot of people have a lot of connections with the characters that they play as in those games and the characters that they lose, and that's because of Naughty Dog. They make you get connected to who you're playing as and who you're watching. So I think that's an important element for a nominee in their category, and I think they can win it, and I think they will win it.
Yeah. No short of not surprised if it does happen. And people who were who don't know as Greg pointed out, the Fulbright company made Gone Home, which is an amazing indie game that I don't think we've seen in a while. More intentionally, like it's a game that people really like. But out of those four, I still stick to Rockstar North. All right, so on to the next category, Best Shooter. And this consists of Battlefield 4, BioShock Infinite, Call of Duty Ghosts, and Metro Last Light.
This was for. I'm sorry. I'm being lazy. For best shooter. Ooh. I'm just gonna throw this out here. As cool as Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty Ghost is, this is the same fucking game as last year.
Yeah.
Or the year, like, I'm sorry, Battlefield 4 is 2 years ago. Or Battlefield 3 is 2 years ago. So Really, it's between Metro Last Light and Bioshock Infinite, and because Bioshock Infinite's like gameplay was very dull to me.
Right.
I mean, I'll put it this way: playing the game, I found two guns that work the best, and the plasmids, or sorry, the vigors as they're called in the game, were borderline useless due to the fact that the guns had a certain amount of power to them. I'm giving it to Metro.
Wow, Metro. It's a very interesting choice. It's a game that I think is the underdog in this. But yeah, it's a good choice.
Oh,
Mike,
it won't win. It absolutely won't win. It'll be given to either Battlefield 4 or Call of Duty.
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, and this is Spike we're talking about.
Right.
Mike, what say you?
Battlefield 4 is going to win it. I love BioShock Infinite. I never played Call of Duty Ghosts, or have I played Metro Last Light. But I just didn't feel, BioShock Infinite was more of a solid story-driven game. I don't feel like it was a profound, deep, enthralling shooter that I just feel like I have to play over and over and over again. I played Battlefield 4 briefly, off and on, but I just know how popular that game is, and people are in love with it. So yeah, Battlefield 4 is gonna win it.
Okay. Out of this list, the thing about it is that the supposed winner is because it is Spike TV and it's mostly male generated content and whatnot. And kind of years prior how it is. Typically, I would say it would go to either Battlefield 4 or Call of Duty, but I mean, as we stated prior to the to this prediction list, we've seen like the different number of people who are judging these games. They're not dumb. Like these are top notch people who has criticized or has reviewed games in the past.
Right.
So for me, I think I'm going to take the latter. I think they will be smart about it. I think they will say either they're going to say Metro. I think they're going to go with Bugray with Metro Last Light.
I hope it does. It deserves it.
For sure. Real quick note. Our brother came in and want to put his little input into it. He's also saying Metro Last Light will win. And just because of the Battlefield 4 still broken right now in its servers and everything.
Good point.
So I would if they're smart. I'm gonna take the latter, and I think that the people reviewing this or judging this are going to be smart about this, and I think they're going to pick Metro. I think they're going to go with that route. I hope. I gotta hope.
Yeah.
All right. So the next on the list we have best action adventure game, and the 4 games in that category are Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, Grand Theft Auto 5, The Last of Us, and Tomb Raider.
Mine's real simple and easy. Tomb Raider. It's the most action adventure game on there. Assassin's Creed 4 is now the Call of Duty of action adventure games, so I just don't care. Grand Theft Auto 5 is not an action adventure game to me, and Last of Us is an action adventure game, but not in the scale that Tomb Raider was. So Tomb Raider gets it hands down.
Right. Mike.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Greg. I believe Tomb Raider is the epitome of this category, hands down. I mean, Assassin's Creed 4 maybe, but Tomb Raider, that's the core of the game. Action adventure. That's Laura Croft right there. That should be like her middle name.
Right. Okay.
Laura Action Adventure Croft. Right, Greg?
Sure. Yeah, we can go with that.
Shut up, Greg. Just say yes. Fuck.
No. Wait, what? What am I saying yes to? I agree, Mike.
Personally, I think 3 out of these 4 games have a good contender. I think like Tomb Raider is a good contender because like that's kind of been her main bread and butter for a number of years, and this past one was really good. Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. I've been hearing a lot of good stuff out of it. Not to mention the fact that some Assassin's Creed games in the past have been, not as great, but it's always been a staple of Ubisoft. And Grand Theft Auto 5, nothing to really say except the fact that their adventure game, as far as what you can do in the game, it's just so big and anomalous as far as being able to do one thing, switch to another character, and doing something else. Personally, I think best action adventure game. Going off of what I think the VGX, I think they're going to choose Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I think that
I sincerely hope you're wrong.
I know. I have this feeling that they're going to pick that, but I think they should give it to Tomb Raider. I think Tomb Raider, hands down, is probably the best action adventure game this year. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I think it's funny that the next category that is on here is kind of like not in our wheelhouse. So what I'm going to do for this next category is just once Anthony reads it, just say who you think is going to win and not for what.
I will speak upon one of those games which I've seen on Polygon stream they were talking about on the PS4. But yeah, so
I've actually only played one of them, but
okay, gotcha. So FIFA 14. MLB 13 The Show, NBA 2K14, and NHL 14. Greg, you go first.
NBA 2K14.
Mike?
MLB 13 The Show.
And I'm going to say NBA 2K14 because, goddamn, the game looks so fucking good.
It does. It does look good. It looks better on the next-gen games.
That's exactly why I think it's going to win. So
Yeah.
Man, my God. I was watching that stream on Polygon when they were talking about it and showing it. It's like, wow. It was funny. I forgot who was on. I was on the stream, but the guy was looking. It's like, God damn, Kendrick Perkins' face looks so real.
Yeah, if they win, I hope they would base it on the next gen because you could talk to the players, you can interview them, and all that crazy stuff.
So
I mean, that's cool. I think that's pretty neat.
It's so cool. I like how they're evolving the game. Okay, so next we got best independent game. So we got Gone Home, Kentucky Route Zero, Papers, Please, and the Stanley Parable.
Mine's really easy. It goes to the Stanley Parable because you can play that game 1,000 times and it'll always be different.
I know it's so awesome in that regard.
Yeah.
Mike.
I haven't played any of those 4 games, so I'm just gonna do a wild card. Stanley Parable.
Okay. Yes, for sure.
Sounds like a strong, solid name, Stanley.
I think it'll honestly go between Gone Home or Stanley Parable, but I think Stanley Parable will take it.
I have to agree with you, Greg. I think they will go to Stanley Parable. I think Gone Home probably a good second contender.
Yeah.
Just because it's a game where you literally don't shoot or anything. It's a point and click adventure, but it's rather. It's rather good, and I guess.
It's a first person point and click adventure, which is really interesting.
Yeah. But I have to agree with you, Greg. I think the Stanley Parable is going to win that best independent game. All right, so next we got best RPG. So we got Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, Fire Emblem Awakening, Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch, and Pokemon X and Y.
So for this one, it's really simple. I think Pokemon X and Y is going to win, but I feel that Ni no Kuni should win.
I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, God. I mean, okay. Here's the thing. Fire Emblem is fucking good. It combines two things I love. It's like the RTS strategy of kind of like a Final Fantasy Tactics type of deal. Kind of like chess, with the awesome mechanics of Advance Wars, and I played a shit ton of Advance Wars. So I mean I want to have Fire Emblem win, but man, Ni no Kuni is a good one. Pokemon X and Y, but yeah, I think Pokemon X and Y is gonna win.
I think that the reason the Fire Emblem is an instant third place is because first off, it's fucking Pokemon. The new Pokemon X and Y. It's the first time the game's been in a 3D space,
right?
Unlike we've ever seen. And on top of that, Ni no Kuni is everything's animated and written by Oh my God, what's his name?
The guy.
The the guy who did My Neighbor Totoro and Ponyo and
Yeah.
Princess Mononoke.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, and due to the fact that it just plays like a very well done RPG.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that Ni no Kuni wins, but I feel like due to both popularity and it just genuinely being a good game, Pokemon's gonna take it.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think Pokemon's gonna win. It's ridiculous just how popular this franchise is. What 20 years later now, almost. Um, and I feel like more people are playing X and Y than they were playing Diamond and Pearl and Ruby and Sapphire. At least back when I was playing, when it was cool. And then it became uncool. Then X and Y came out. Like, oh my god, I'm playing X and Y. Like, seriously, we're almost 30. You're still playing Pokemon? Like, I thought it wasn't cool anymore, but I guess it is. But yeah, Pokemon X and Y for the win.
Good choice. No qualms there. Next category is best fighting game. Something I'm a little known to know what's about. First we have Dive Kick, Injustice, Gods Among Us, Killer Instinct, and Tekken Revolution.
I find it funny Killer Instinct's even on this list. I mean, they made it like right under the wire for this new game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? I mean,
First off,
it came out with the launch of the new consoles, right?
I know.
First off, that game can go fuck itself. It's terrible.
I mean, yeah, I agree. But seriously, like they just got right under the wire for being even in the category.
Now, granted, what I played was a demo. It was a full release demo. So that means that the game that I was playing in the demo is the game itself. I just didn't get to play as every character.
Right.
You want to know the problem with that game? Let's say your little brother comes up. You've been playing it for a while. You know all the combos. He comes up and goes, button mash. He's going to win. He's going to win because the game is designed that way. It goes,
course.
oh, you're terrible
Yeah.
at fighting games?
Yeah,
you can just do.
yeah.
You can just mash buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could.
It's stupid.
That's how most people play fighting games, anyways. Most of the time.
Depends who
shouldn't.
you- depends who you
I know.
ask.
I'm not
Depends
saying
who
you
ask.
should, but that's how. I'm just saying that's the way the world works, Greg.
It's what's up?
Oh, sorry. Like, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I would say it's fine to the extent of like, oh, it's just a silly downloadable Xbox One release title. Don't worry about it. That's fine, but it's in a fucking category for best of the year.
I
Go
know. That's
fuck
what I'm
yourself,
saying. I know.
VGX.
That's what I'm saying. Seriously.
It's so great. So what's your prediction then, Greg?
Oh, I think out of the ones that are on here, first off, Dive Kick is hilarious that it's on here. It shouldn't be, but it's funny. But Injustice deserves it.
Definitely.
Okay.
I agree. Injustice Gods Among Us, story wise, awesome. Crisis of Tours, love it. Cool shit. Good fighting game as well. And I'm not, and this is coming from a
Even
guy.
though Superman's overpowered.
This is coming from a guy who doesn't play a whole lot of fighting games, but I do think Injustice is awesome.
You know what's funny? Like I didn't think of a clear winner until you mentioned the story, Mike. Because I totally forgot the Injustice God Among Us story is so good.
Yeah.
Like, it has that DC animated story quality because you could literally just sit there and just watch all the cinematics and you would feel like you're watching a movie. It was really good.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
not many fighting games have good storylines. Like they often just throw it in there, just like whatever, and then they
Like,
focus on the
If they, honestly, if they just cut the fighting out, I would watch that.
Oh yeah,
I would just watch that in the story. I mean, it's really that good.
it is.
Funny thing is, guys, you can actually go to YouTube and just type in "Gods Among" or like
watch the
just "Gods
videos.
Among Us" movie.
The
And what's really cool, what they do, I think this is really clever. They'll take pieces of the fight and add that for the in between parts.
Oh, right.
Because apparently in the game you can go in and turn off like all of the HUD stuff. So
Oh,
Oh,
that's
okay.
really cool.
Nice.
Awesome.
That makes it even better. That's cool.
Yeah, I have to agree with Mike and you, Greg. Like, Injustice God Among Us, it's going to be the one that's going to win it. Dive Kick, it's kind of weird that it's been in there. Tekken Revolution, and I don't think many people are excited as Tekken as it used to be back in the day. It's still a good game, but it's not as popular. Killer Instinct, Greg, for much shit as you put on it, and I agree to some degree, but after watching it yesterday, literally, it's actually not that bad of a game. I mean, I'm still on the fence about it, But you ask me about it in a month or two when I've seen it in action in live tournaments, and then I'll give you a different answer. Um, but yeah, I think Injustice: God Among Us is going to win that category. All right, so the next one we have is best driving game. And the following is F1 2013, Grid 2, Forza Motorsport 5, and Need for Speed Rivals.
I'm just gonna say Forza. I don't play racing
Yeah.
games, but I think they're going to give it to Forza simply because it's the most realistic out of the bunch.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah,
It
okay.
might go to Need for Speed Rivals, but I don't think Grid or F1 are gonna even get close.
Yeah, I think those two are just like, I don't think anybody would know what that is.
I agree with you, Greg. I think it's going to go to Forza Motorsports 5 just because it's like it looks fucking amazing on the next gen consoles. And I haven't played it. I don't play a lot of driving games either. But watching the commercials on TV for it with that cool orange car and the carbon fiber hood and all the detailed work on all the parts and stuff, I'm just like, that's impressive. And I'm not even playing the game. I'm just watching a commercial on my television. I'm like, that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Winner, Forza Motorsports 5.
Every year the cars just get more realistic and more realistic. I thought they looked realistic back when like Gran Turismo 2 came out.
I thought
but-
they were really realistic when I actually could drive one every day.
And goddamn, that car porn is so good.
Yeah, it's car porn.
Yes.
Never heard it called that before.
Yeah.
I think okay. So if the judges are smart about this, and if they've been up to date what's happening in Forza Motorsport, I think they'll go for Need for Speed Rivals, just for the sake of what exactly Forza is doing right now with their microtransactions for their car is ridiculously horrible. But if they are going off of playing it and not knowing of that situation, then it's gonna go to Forza because that game looks really good. No matter how you look at it, it's car porn all the way. But I hope it's Need for Speed, personally. All right, so the next one we have is best DLC. We have Borderlands 2, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, Dishonored, the Knife of Dunwall, Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon, Mass Effect 3, Citadel.
This one's a real easy one for me. It goes to Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. You first had a game that was just amazing in every way, had good characters, good design to the layout of the land, and it was genuinely a fun and thrilling game to play. And they come out with DLC that is nothing, absolutely nothing like the original game.
Yeah.
And to me, out of all the DLC that's there, that was the most exciting and the most fun that I played. So, to me, if it doesn't win, I'll be surprised. The only other thing I can think it would go to at all is the Borderlands 2 one.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think Far Cry 3 is going to win that one. And I hope it does too.
Yes. Mike, what about you?
I haven't really played any of those these DLCs, but I would pick Mass Effect just because I'm a huge Mass Effect fan. But I know there's a lot of people that love Borderlands, and especially the sequel. So I'll just say Borderlands 2, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep.
Yeah, good choice. For me, out of these four, I think two of them are going to be probably the best ones to win it. Far Cry 3, Blood Dragon, as Craig said, and Borderlands 2, Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. I think it'll go to Borderlands 2. I think that DLC, just the creativeness that they always have in each one, in most of them, that 2K puts out for Borderlands 2 and still supporting it right now with more DLC coming. And Tiny Tina's, I think, is one of the best out of all of them.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna win the award. But I won't be surprised if it goes to Far Cry 3 because that's very good too. So the next one is best Xbox game. So we got BioShock Infinite, even though that came out on PC. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, Grand Theft Auto 5, and Tomb Raider. Correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't a few of these on multi-platform? Like I know BioShock Infinite came out for Xbox and PC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
three of the
GTA
four-
5's Mass. Yeah.
Three of the four are multi-platform.
So
I think I think that best Xbox, PlayStation, and
I think
Nintendo,
it's
and then
like what looks
PC.
best.
Like all these categories are just formalities.
Yeah.
Because they kind of want that. I mean, when you look at PlayStation's, it only has one exclusive in their
Yeah.
category too. So for me, the Xbox One should go to Brothers since it's the only true exclusive on the list.
Right. I agree. Yeah, but
But it'll probably go to Grand Theft Auto 5.
mm, um, I think it would probably go to. I would. Yeah. I'm gonna say BioShock Infinite. In my opinion, I thoroughly enjoyed playing BioShock Infinite on my Xbox. I didn't play it on the PlayStation, but it's not. It's not a multiplayer game, but I didn't feel the need that I needed to play it on PlayStation. I wanted to play it on my Xbox, and I enjoyed playing it on my Xbox. Yeah, BioShock Infinite. Even though Grand Theft Auto 5 probably will win it, but I think BioShock Infinite will win.
Yes, agreed. Here's the thing: is like it's funny how some third party games like are more known if you play it on Xbox than like other places. It's funny how that works sometimes. And to me, when it comes to this list, I agree with Greg that Brothers is like the only Xbox exclusive, and that should
Yeah.
win the award by default. But I think when you think of an Xbox game, I think that they will go with Grand Theft Auto 5. Even though, well, yeah, it's funny how I said it because that originally came from Sony. That was kind of Sony's exclusive for a long time, and when people think of Grand Theft Auto, they think of Sony. But no, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna switch that. I'm gonna go BioShock Infinite. I think that because like I can't say Grand Theft Auto because when you think of that game, you think of Sony. When you think of BioShock, yeah, it's like okay, I can see it being known to be on Xbox because the first one was on there, and a lot of people played it more on there than they played on PS4 or PS3.
Yeah.
So I'm going with BioShock on that one, and that is a very waverly prediction.
Good
on my
decision,
end.
Anthony. I agree.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
The
So,
next category I think is a no-brainer all with all three of us.
yeah.
And look at that, Grand Theft Auto's on that category
Speaking
too.
of, speaking of Sony, we have best PlayStation game, and the categories are Grand Theft Auto 5, Rayman Legends, The Last of Us, and Tomb Raider. Greg, go ahead.
Oh, it's a no-brainer. The one game on there that's also part of Game of the Year that is an exclusive to PlayStation, it's going to go to Last of Us. Period.
I was okay. Wow, I was thinking something else. Holy shit.
Okay, well that's interesting because I can't think of why it would go to another game.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think it's going to Last of Us too.
Wow. Actually,
Yeah, hands down.
You know what's funny is like actually I think it'll go to Grand Theft Auto 5.
Really?
Here's the thing. Like, yes, Grand Theft Auto 5 is a multi-platform, but again, when you think of Sony, you think of Grand Theft Auto. It's been that franchise has been there for so long.
I get where you're going with that because every game up till 4 was on PlayStation only.
Yeah.
For sure. Rayman Legends, that game is awesome. It won't win just because like the games are bigger than that. Last of Us is a good contender. I can see that winning, and Tomb Raider as well. But when I think of Sony, I think of Grand Theft Auto. I think Grand Theft Auto would win that.
That's interesting.
It's
Yeah.
it's a different take, but we'll see how it
I
goes.
just don't see that happening simply because it's it's a huge exclusive. I mean,
Yes,
it
it
is
is.
a
It's huge, yes.
huge exclusive. So
Yes.
I don't
It's
know. I
like
just think
Uncharted. When it comes to Uncharted, that's massive exclusive. They can't get rid of. Got to hold on to that.
Naughty Dog is one of the best in the game when it comes to that. Next, we have Best Nintendo Game. And we have Pikmin 3, Rayman Legends, Super Mario 3D World, and The Wonderful 101.
Super Mario 3D World. It's hands down going to be that one. There's two reasons I say that it's going to be. There's not even going to be an argument behind it. Is because Pikmin 3 got like mediocre ratings. I mean, it was a good game. People said it was a good game, but whatever.
Nintendo hyped it up pretty big too when they revealed it at E3 earlier this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hyped it up pretty big.
like a lot of people that played it are like it's a good game, but it's just more Pikmin. It's just that's as simple as it gets. Rayman Legends and Wonderful 101. Well, Rayman Legends is on every other console, so whatever.
Yeah.
But Wonderful 101, people have been not exactly like this game is amazing. Like they'll play it and they're just like meh and move on. But everything that I've heard about Super Mario 3D World is through the roof, and so because of that, plus it being in the Game of the Year category as well, it's gonna win.
Yeah, that's. I agree. It's gonna be Super Mario World because of kitty cats. That's it. Kitty
Cat
cats
food is
sell.
fun.
What can I say? Cats are all over YouTube. Why can't they be all over Super Mario World? Right? Right?
You can't.
Okay.
You can't defy that logic. I have to agree. Super Mario 3D World. I think that whenever you have a Super Mario title in a Best Nintendo Game category, I think they're gonna win 90% of the time. But yeah, Super Mario 3D World for me as well. Next on the list is Best PC Game, and this is very interesting actually.
Yeah, it is.
I'm kind of shocked at this list, just because like I'm thinking like, other games that could have been in there, but this is their show and their games. So we have Battlefield 4, Gone Home, Papers, Please, and the Stanley Parable.
I'm pretty sure it's going to Battlefield 4. Yes, Battlefield 4 has had a lot of issues recently with their servers, and their campaigns are known to be absolute garbage. But I think due to the fact that it is a shooter and it is a top-selling shooter, and probably got the highest ratings on this list when you look at Metacritic or something like that, it's going to take it very easily.
Surprised like Diablo 3.
I
didn't
think
make it to this list.
Stanley Parable deserves it. I absolutely believe Stanley Parable deserves it, but I don't think it's going to take it.
Are you guys surprised that Diablo 3 didn't make it onto that best PC list?
Oh, Diablo 3 came out last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
The console version came out this year.
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of
You can see I don't play a lot of PC games.
There's a lot of PC games that I could have easily swapped these into, and not just the big major AAA titles. I'm talking about like some of the indie stuff like Rogue Legacy and other games.
Absolutely.
Man, but what do you think, Mike?
I think it'll be Battlefield 4 too. Just like, yeah, I agree with Greg. What Greg said it's pretty popular. Whatever. Yeah, I haven't played the other three, so Battlefield 4.
I hate to say it, but I'm have to agree with you guys. I think they'll do Battlefield 4. I said, as Greg said, I think Stanley Parable deserves it. I mean, I'm not gonna doubt these guys. These guys are judging it, but like at the same time, it's very glaring. I think they're gonna choose it. I think that they are. It'd be cool if they didn't, but we'll see. Prove us wrong.
It's Spike, man. I mean, we do have a council of very intelligent game reviewers. But if you tell me that Spike doesn't have an influence on it, then you're smoking some kind of wacky tobacco that I need to get a hold of too. 'Cause it sounds amazing.
All right. So next on the list we have Best Handheld Game. I think it's going to be a pretty tough one actually. We have Animal Crossing, New Leaf, Pokemon X and Y, Tearaway, and The Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds. Good luck on that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You are 100% correct because 3 of the 4 on there, nobody could shut the fuck up about those 3 when they came out.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely right to do. I've never been a big fan of the Animal Crossing games. It's just not my cup of tea. But I get the lore of them and I get how well they function. So, New Leaf, X and Y, and Link Between Worlds. I think out of those 3, Tearaway's not going to win. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Tearaway's not going to win. I've never even heard of the game, to be honest with you. I just don't know what it is. But I think out of the 3 on there, Pokemon's going to win. And I say that simply because, again, it's possibly the most... I mean, I don't want to say that Zelda's unrecognizable,
Right.
but when it comes to level of popularity and level of, like, just interactivity, like, anyone can pick a Pokemon and start playing it. not everyone can pick up Legend of Zelda and start playing it. Not everyone can pick up Animal. Well, I guess everyone can pick up Animal Crossing, but I think that Pokemon's gonna win that one.
Okay. Mike.
I think the Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds is gonna win it. It's just like just new elements to an old school game. I mean, the things they're doing with the 3DS. The I mean, you have so many options now with this 3DS, and it's like I don't know they're just doing so much with the Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds with this game I like the scroll thing that he does with the crawls up against the wall. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's a little
it's called it's what it is in the game. Mike is the villain of the game has the ability to become a painting,
yeah. Yeah.
and by inadvertently, accidentally giving Link that same power. So
Yeah. I thought that was a cool feature, and I haven't played it yet, but I really do want to play it. But yeah, I think that one's gonna win. It looks good.
Tearaway for me is the redheaded stepchild that it deserves more love. That game is freaking awesome, but it's not gonna win. It's a
I
category.
honestly have no idea what it is. I can't sit there and dog it because
Oh, I know
I
for sure. I understand. I
have
understand.
no idea what it is.
For sure. Highly suggest you go check it out. It's really cool. But Tearaway's not gonna win it. These three other dogs in this match is just too good. Animal Crossing, big name, New Leaf. When that came out, people were all over that. Pokemon X and Y, there's nothing to be said other than the fact that people love the hell out of it. And Legend of Zelda, I've heard so many people saying like this is Game of the Year potential. Oh man, this is a tough one. I think it's gonna go for Pokemon X and Y though. I think it's gonna go that route. Just mainly on the popularity of it. I think that they're gonna go off of that, and it's like the newest hotness in a while. Plus, it's been a while since we had a new Pokemon game anyway. So, Pokemon X and Y is gonna be my choice.
Cool.
All right, next we have is best casual game. Right here we have an interesting group of picks. We have Animal Crossing: New Leaf. We have Disney Infinity, Plants vs Zombies 2: It's About Time, and Skylanders: Swap Force.
For me, it's Plants vs Zombies 2 is gonna win it. Um,
Hmm.
I think it's actually a really smart pick in that category. Skylanders and Disney Infinity to me are. I didn't really consider them casual games because there's combat that you actually do. It's not you can't just relax. I mean, I guess you can relax play those games technically, but um, I just don't know many adults that were like Disney Infinity and Skylanders. Hell yeah! Like I just never met any adults that did that. But as for Animal Crossing and Plants vs Zombies 2, like I did know a lot of adults that were very excited about those games, and I think because Animal Crossing might take it. But I really do think that due to Plants vs Zombies 2, A being free and B, like just being a genuinely good game, I think it's going to take it for this one.
Mike.
I would want it to be Candy Crush, but since
fuck that
apparently
game.
they're not on the list, it's gonna be Plants vs Zombies 2 because it's got the three best things: plants, zombies, time travel. Drop the mic.
No argument there. As a person who loves Plants vs Zombies, and you get to play the second one, I'm gonna say Animal Crossing. I think that is the most casual game I can think of, and people like I've seen around my campus have been playing a lot of it, especially like in between classes. I think that's gonna be. I think it's gonna take it, but I could be wrong. But we'll find out soon in this podcast. But the next one we're gonna look at, which kind of stares at me, is like, really, guys? Best voice actor, male voice actor. I should add that. Troy Baker as Joel in The Last of Us. Troy Baker as Booker DeWitt in Bioshock Infinite. Stephen Ogg as Trevor Phillips in Grand Theft Auto 5, and William Dafoe as Nathan Dawkins in Beyond Two Souls.
That's not fair. Troy Baker just does too much shit with voice acting. That's not fair.
I don't understand why he's in two and has two entries. It's not fair.
It's pretty awesome, actually.
Well, I
He's
think
just
actually,
an awesome voice actor.
like I think it's interesting that they did give him two categories instead of just like putting him in one category and saying for these two roles. But I guess it's due to the fact that like he's not just the one that kind of wins it. Like if he wins it, he wins that also for Rational, or he wins that for Naughty Dog. So,
Right.
Right.
but in that category, Stephen Ogg is great as Trevor, and William Dafoe is okay as his character in Beyond Two Souls. And this might be a little biased because I love Troy Baker. I think he's one of the
he's
best
an
voice
awesome
actors out
dude.
there right now.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But the fact that like when you play BioShock Infinite and then play Last of Us, his voice is so drastically different from those two characters when he does them that it's almost like it's understandable that he got two categories. But in that regard, I would have to give it to Last of Us, simply because in BioShock Infinite, there's less dialogue in BioShock Infinite. The person that does most of the talking in that game is Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And so from my perspective, Joel, him having to like, because you got to keep in mind, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but in BioShock Infinite, his character kind of has amnesia. He doesn't know what's going on really, so there's no emotional connection to certain things. Whereas with Joel, there's a lot of connection there. There's a lot of emotion you have to put into that voice, and a lot of age you have to put into that voice. And he does that so flawlessly that it's just, to me, he deserves the award for that role alone. And that's why I'm going to give it to that, and I think they're going to choose that one too.
Okay, Greg wants to be a little biased. I'm going to be super biased. Troy Baker. Because he's awesome.
It's no argument there. As Greg was talking about Troy Baker's like role in BioShock, what would tip it for me, or tip it, I think in that direction, is that when you play first person shooters and it's being voice acted, like how many times are you actually invested in like the character that you are? Because I mean, outside of a few, like you don't really feel that connection with that character because you don't see yourself. You are that person. You are, it's first person view.
Right.
But in Last of Us, you actually see the character in third person. You actually see his emotions. You see him talking. You have more of a connection because you know what that character looks like, and you know how he reacts, and everything that of a human being should do. I think Troy Baker will win as Joel in The Last of Us. His performance has been great, nothing but the best. I think that I think Trevor is good in Grand Theft Auto 5. I think with Dafoe is just like I think this category was specifically made for Troy Baker to win it, just because he has two entries. Either way. But yeah, I'm gonna agree with Greg. I think he'll take it in The Last of Us.
Well, he definitely has a 50% chance, so there's that.
Very true.
Well, realistically, he doesn't have a 50% chance because they're not. It's not a random vote. It's unanimous. It has to be, between the panel choosing. So I mean,
For sure.
chances if you want to say chances, sure, but it's really not up to chance. It's
Right.
to me, it's not up to chance. It's
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe the council will see that he has two and be like, "Fuck him, go to Trevor Ogg." But
The council.
I don't know.
Every time you mention it, I just think of the Jedi Council in Star Wars 1 and 2. Young Jedi. So the next category we have Best Voice Actress. And we have Ashley Johnson as Ellie in The Last of Us. Courtney, how do you say that? Draper as Elizabeth in BioShock Infinite. Camilla Lugden as Lara Croft in Tomb Raider, and Ellen Page as Ellen Page in Beyond Two Souls. uh, Greg, you can go first.
I think Courtney Draper for Elizabeth is going to win that one. I mean, granted, a lot of her lines are, or at least most of her lines are Booker catch.
Yeah, yeah. That's very true.
yeah.
Thanks,
She's
Greg,
still,
for that.
she's still the emotional connection that the game has, and for her to like convey that in certain scenes in just a wonderful way. I mean, I also give that to the developers of the game by giving her like subtle facial emotions that you can see. I think that's great, but there's a lot of moments where like if you're not looking at the screen, you can tell like what emotion she's throwing through because of how well the voice actress is doing. The girl that plays Ellie is, to be honest with you, not that great in The Last of Us. There's a lot of moments where she's really stiff, where I don't feel like she's genuinely scared. That was my biggest critique on the game, by the way, was her voice acting. I think that so I don't think that she really deserves it. And then the other two categories, which all of a sudden I can't remember.
Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, and Ellen Page.
I don't think that someone. I mean, to me, she did a good job as Laura Croft, but again, a lot of her stuff was stiff. Plus, I just don't think you can win an award by when they go, all right, I want you to feel pain, and you go, It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You have to change that. That's for,
Yeah.
as an,
Listening
from
to her
an
moan
acting
and
point,
groan as she gets stabbed through the throat.
yeah, from an acting point of view, that's not a sound of pain. That's a sound of pleasure.
Yes.
So-
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people took it as, Greg.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying like she shouldn't win that one. And who was the last one?
Ellen Page as Jodie Holmes in Beyond Two
Oh,
Souls.
no. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Juno.
To me, an actress who decides to do voice acting shouldn't win an award
No,
for
I think,
voice
yeah.
acting.
Yeah.
Just nonsense to me. Granted, yes, okay, so Willem Dafoe and Ellen Page and everyone else in that game did the actual mocap and they acted out the scenes and all that jazz. They should have given that to somebody else.
Okay.
I think that somebody else could have taken it and done a better job personally, but
I too agree. I think Courtney Draper is going to win as Elizabeth. I always felt that Elizabeth's probably one of the best well-drawn, well-written characters in games. She's by far one of my favorite video game characters, and I've played a lot of games. Like Greg said, when you're playing as Booker, he's in Amnesia. He doesn't do a lot of talking. You mostly hear from Elizabeth. You hear her story. You see her cutscenes. You listen to her talk throughout the game. I don't know. I don't want to give away spoilers. That's why I'm trying to cut off what I'm saying here.
Right.
There's things that happen at the end that kind of make you wish that you can have her in real life. I guess I don't know. You kind of wish you could know this person in real life so she can be around forever and ever. So yeah,
Okay.
it's hard to not spoil anything, but yeah, she's a character. She's a character that kind of grows on you.
Oh, For sure.
Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
I have to say that I've never played a game that had me so invested in a female character since Half-Life 2 with Alex Vance.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
Elizabeth from BioShock Infinite really did it for me. I think the
Yep.
first
See, you agree with me.
the
Yep.
first 30 minutes of that game of how she gets out of the tower and you're just looking at her and she's dancing, and happy and everything. It was a moment where I was like, wow, okay, this is something more than the usual female character in a video game. So I do believe that Courtney will get the award for best voice actress.
Yep.
All right, so next on the list is best soundtrack. And we have BioShock Infinite, Grand Theft Auto 5, Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, and The Last of Us. Go ahead, take it away, Greg.
I think BioShock Infinite deserves that one. Again, not trying to be biased, but it when you play when you play a game, it's not just about the music that they chose for the game. It's also the ambiance music.
Right.
How and to me, there are moments in BioShock Infinite that stand out so strongly because of the ambient music. Now, Last of Us does a really smart thing where there's no ambient music in certain parts, and I think that that's a smart feature. So to me, having Last of Us in there doesn't really make any sense because there wasn't a whole lot of music to add in. I'm sorry, but when I play Grand Theft Auto 5, I turn off the radio because most of the songs in the game suck.
Yeah. And they just
And-
get and even the ones that were good, they don't become good anymore because you hear them 5 times, within 10 minutes of each other. And yeah, I agree. They're
Yeah, they're
Go ahead.
terrible.
yeah, they become terrible.
And Ni no Kuni's music is very Miyazaki. Haha. Remembered his name.
Yes.
It's very classic Miyazaki because it just sounds like what they're going for when they come up with that. So for me, it goes to BioShock Infinite. I think if Ni no Kuni wins, I'm fine. I'm okay with it. But if Grand Theft Auto or Last of Us wins, it's not going to make any sense to me. So,
Right.
but I want BioShock Infinite to win. I think BioShock Infinite is going to win.
Right. Mike?
Yeah, I agree with Greg too. BioShock is supposed to be a game that's supposed to be scary. It's supposed to be suspenseful, and I think music goes hand in hand with that completely. And a good soundtrack, goes in hand with that too. Like Greg said about Grand Theft Auto, there's songs in there that are shitty, and there are songs in there that were good at one time. And after playing that game for 5 hours straight, I'm like, okay, I never want to hear this song ever
There's
again.
5 songs in there that are good.
Yeah. But it's like, after hearing them multiple millions of times on 5 different cars that I've stole, I'm like, okay, I never want to hear this song ever again. Goodbye. But yeah, I think it's going to go to BioShock Infinite. Ambiance is a major factor in this game, and the music goes hand in hand with that. So,
I agree with both of you. I think that when it comes to ambiance, when it comes to that, that classical nature for a good action game, that it's very important. But the thing is, though, it's like there are only a few times in my gaming life that a kind of musical score or something to that nature really recognizes a game that I played or that that reminds me of, like God of War and their kind of theme music and Halo and their various song. And when I think of soundtrack, I think of Grand Theft Auto. As funny as that may seem, the reason why is because Grand Theft Auto's soundtrack for the past couple games have been really good. Even though even though they're not original, that there are artists that do come on. Still, I think that for like the setting for what it is and kind of how they depicted LA and going with that with the radio stations that that you would often hear in LA.
I guess here's my problem, Anthony. As I agree with you, I would not judge Grand Theft Auto's soundtrack on its originality because that would be ridiculous. But you have to admit that most of the songs that come up on the radio are A, not recognizable when they should be, and B, just don't really convey a sense of what you're doing in Grand Theft Auto. Like, yes, there's a lot of moments where if you listen to the right radio station, sure, you can pop on some kind of song that's conveying what Franklin's doing at the moment. Or maybe you can find the radio station that Trevor really likes, and so when you're chasing hillbillies or you're chasing the biker gang, you can listen to whatever Trevor's listening to, and it kind of fits. But I'd say 90% of that game, the music doesn't fit.
Interesting.
Personally.
yeah.
Right. No, I have a different opinion, but I respect your opinion at the same time.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that I
know,
wasn't
it's cool.
I wasn't saying that Grand Theft Auto's soundtrack was bad because of the songs that were chosen. I was saying that I don't like it because the songs that were chosen don't fit the theme of the game.
Right. And just a little note to add to my decision is that in Grand Theft Auto 5, they do have original fake commercials, which are hilarious.
Absolutely.
And some of the musicians actually own their own radio stations in game, which is really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so next is following that up is best song in game. So what we have is ADHD by Kendrick Lamar in Grand Theft Auto 5, Sleepwalking by The Chain Gang in 1974 by Grand Theft Auto 5, Survival by Eminem in Call of Duty Ghost, and Will the Circle Be Unbroken by Courtney Damper and Troy Baker in Bioshock Infinite.
For me, that I don't think that. I think ADHD is fine for Grand Theft Auto 5. Because to me, to an extent, that's kind of what Grand Theft Auto 5 is. It's a game for if you have ADHD.
Right.
But Sleepwalk, that song can go. It can go away. It's not good. But ADHD. If ADHD wins, I'll be fine.
Okay.
But I think the one who deserves it is the Circle Will Be Unbroken.
Yes.
First off, you have two voice actors singing the song. You don't just. It's not just an artist who sung a song, put it on their album, and it randomly happens to be on the game.
Yep.
I like Eminem. As a matter of fact, I have his new album, and I've been listening to it. And the song that they chose for that is great. Does it fit Ghost? Not even a little bit.
Nope.
So, but if I had to say which one I think will win, Eminem will win easily.
Yeah, I kind of was going with that theory too, Greg. This a better opportunity for Eminem to go out on the stage and plug his new album, right? I mean, come on. But
Anthony's just
yeah, right. I mean, it's like oh, hey, Eminem's actually here for this. Well, maybe we should just give him the award, right? But no, I think Will the Circle Be Unbroken should win. I agree with what Greg said. Courtney Draper and Troy Baker are singing this song together, and it's a beautiful song. It just makes you
the theme of the game.
The theme of the game. It just makes you love the game, makes you appreciate everything that's going on in the story. I mean, I want that to win, honestly, but Eminem's here, so yay! Plug your new album, Emmy. Get up there for that survival song. Yeah, it'll probably be Eminem, but I want it to be Will the Circle Be Unbroken, which it won't be. But yeah,
I 100% agree with both of you guys. I really wish that the Circle Be Unbroken wins. I pray to the console gods that they will pick that. But I think Eminem probably will win it. I think I have a good feeling that I think ADHD has a good chance of winning that category. I think they have a good chance. But man, I think it's gonna go to.
Well, the thing is, and I have to clarify this: that song is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like Eminem. I always have liked Eminem, and his new album is really good.
Right.
But when we're talking about a video game awards show and best song for a video game,
right,
that game doesn't fit Ghost at all.
Yeah, and it's Spike, and it's male oriented, so it's gonna be.
But it's Eminem.
Yeah. I won't be surprised if he's doing the performance earlier. It's like, oh, well, yes, we know who's gonna win that category.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So last but not least, we have most anticipated game.
Now you can actually go on Spike's website, and I think you can still vote for it. Well, no, never mind. I forgot when this is. We're recording this before the VMAs or VMXs.
Right. That's cool. It's cool.
Or you can get in your time machine.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Real quick. Let me rewind. How do that? All right. It was never said.
Yeah. So as the list shows here, we have South Park: The Stick of Truth, Destiny, Watch Dogs, Titanfall, and The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt.
The only one I'm not anticipating on there is Witcher 3, but I'd say the one I'm anticipating the most is Destiny. Easily, hands down. That just for me. Sorry, I almost choked on my spit. As for me, I'm a big sci-fi fan. Sci-fi is probably my favorite genre. I mean, that's why I love the things that I love. I mean, yeah, there are some things that you wouldn't consider sci-fi, but I'm sorry, but mutants are sci-fi. Um, and like Adventure Time, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, X-Men, Marvel. Those are all science fiction because they exist in a science fiction world.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Destiny is definitely in that category. Plus, the company that made Halo, come on.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for Destiny.
Yeah,
that's a good
Bungie.
argument. Mike?
I'm interested in Watch Dogs. I'm most anticipating that game. Um, I love technology. You know, it's like that's my thing.
You're one of those people.
I'm a tech dude. I'm an early adopter. I love picking up new tech and playing with it and figuring out all kinds of new things to do with it. And I want to play a video game that, you know, everybody's connected through their device and you can track people. I think that's a great idea. I think a lot of people should have a lot in common with a game like this. I mean, it's just it just bleeds what our society is now. What age, what era of life we're in right now. Technology-driven world. Watch Dogs is exactly what that is in a nutshell. So I'm anticipating. I think that's going to win most anticipated game.
4 out of these 5 games I'm really excited for, and I probably will get. But to me, hands down, no question, Titanfall. That game,
Yeah.
so good. Like the minute I saw that trailer of like you are on the ground, you're shooting dudes, and then suddenly this big robot picks you up, puts you in his belly, and now you're controlling that mech. And not to mention, on top of that, when you're on ground, you can like run off and jump off walls like Mirror's Edge style. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
please sign me up.
Ejector
Yeah, 'cause,
seats,
like-
dude.
Because
Ejector seats.
here's the thing: is technically all 5 of those games are gonna hit some kind of chord with all the gamers out there.
Oh,
Right.
for
I
sure.
mean, as long as they don't suck, and I don't think that they will.
Mm-mm.
You know, South Park Stick of Truth is it looks like the show.
Oh yeah.
As a matter of fact, there was a scrapped script from the game that became an episode recently.
Oh no way. That's awesome.
I don't remember which episode it was. Do you remember the one where like Stan Marsh, not Stan, I'm sorry, Stan Marsh's dad
Randy.
was like he hopped into the back of a mail truck or some shit like that in an episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly, but that whole episode it was a scrapped script from Stick of Truth. So I just think that that's going to be a great fucking game. Then, like Anthony said, Titanfall is going to be a lot of fun. Its storyline is based upon you advancing in the multiplayer, and that's brilliant to me. Plus, it just looks gorgeous. And then you have Destiny, which is basically like, hey, did you want to futuristically explore all of the planets in the solar system? Here you go. Like, it just everything about that game looks amazing.
You're not interested in Watch Dogs, then?
I was getting to watch.
Oh yeah, I knew it.
And then
That's for last.
like Mike said, you have Watch Dogs. Like the way that game is designed is brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. When you go into a mission and you have to go into a room and you have to find the right person, based on the tech that we have nowadays and the way that this game is designed, where it's like slightly in future, some shit like that, it's going to be a mind-blowing game. It's going to be basically Watch Dogs is going to be Assassin's Creed with tech.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
So I think that like, and then of course people are excited about Witcher 3 because people love their medieval RPGs, and the Witcher series is a really good series for that. So
It really
And witches. Yeah, witches.
I would probably say like this is gonna be a good or the 2014 looks like a pretty good lineup for gaming for sure.
absolutely.
And it's only going to get better next gen now.
Yes, it will. Anyways, we're gonna take a short break. But when we come back, you get to hear
By short break, he means 4 days.
exactly. We need those 4 days of break. But
Sorry to give a glimpse of the man behind the curtain.
yes, I'm the mighty and powerful Oz of this podcast. Anyways, but yes, we are going to be back with our reactions to our predictions and whether one of us will be correct on all fronts or we're all completely wrong on all fronts. So with that, we will be right back.